What's something fun to talk about?
Boobs.
Would you adopt me? What just came out of your mouth?
Literally where my brain went. Fucking zazzed.
Oh, Danny and the Matrix.
This is my favourite thing in the world.
Dynamite.
He looks like a little dragon. I love it.
Well, talent. Speaking of talent, all good segue. Today we have another guest, the lovely Ellie Masters. Didn't say Masters.
Hi. Oh yeah.
So, we've had a couple guests already, but we wanted to have Ellie on for this one because this episode's about creativity, being a creative person, the industry.
Our favourite things.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shall we start with our kind of, I guess, experiences? I don't think any of us have done anything like too professional, but we've dabbled. We've dipped our toe in the water.
I feel like we're all just kind of swimming in a little pool of creativity. None of us really know where we're going, but we're there.
God said we've done nothing professional.
Okay, I meant like singing and acting wise, not books. We've done books. Buy our books on Amazon.
Wow, because on Amazon.
Every episode, we'll find a way.
How many times we mentioned these fucking books?
Oh god, I will. It's gonna take so
How else
long.
do you think we're getting money? I need to fund my way for university. I need to get like £1 from these.
My mum calls the books my Saturday job, so I need to sell. Because I'm not making minimum wage. But yeah, so me, Ellie, Amber all went to the same weekend theatre school, but you two were there long before I was.
Yeah, so
You were there before me, right?
how many thing is so I was there for I think 13 years, and then which is crazy, like thinking about
That's a whole person.
That is a whole.
That's like a whole person's life.
That's a whole child's life. But do you know what? The weird thing is, it just feels like Aliyah and Amber were there the whole time with me. It doesn't feel like I ever didn't know them. It's the weirdest thing. But I think that is because I think especially in like any creative field, really, whether it's like art, music, but like writing, anything, you do form really close connections. Because I feel like creative things are so personal that when you link with other people, it just means so much more. So yeah.
No,
No,
you're
that's
right.
not.
100%. I mean,
We had to slam each other into walls all the time.
Oh, me and Amber had some weird experiences.
win for the bisexuals and lesbians out there. Big
Yeah,
win.
but the thing is, you know what? We've just had some experiences, and I don't know how to explain them without them sounding illegal. But
We've dabbled.
Ellie, I love the bits, but that was so uncomfortable.
it was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever done. I'm very happy to be your best friend, but being your sort of non-consensual love partner is very odd.
We walked out of the room and looked at each other and just went, I'm so sorry. We should start apologising, both of us. I'm so sorry, oh my god.
I feel like we need to give specifics on this at some point, because this is going to sound very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, you led with non-consensual lesbian lover, so...
I started
Context.
with non-consensual lover, so I feel like we didn't do these things.
We were doing Lambda exam, and we were doing, I think it was Viola and Olivia in 12th Night.
Yeah.
Basically, one of them is really coming on to the other one because the other one's dressed as a man. But Viola's like, no, I am a lady.
It's just a whole sexual confusion.
It's a whole mess. And we were like,
My teenage
trying to do it, and the energy was a bit off. And our teacher was like, right, I want you to slam her into the wall, get as close to her face as you can without physically kissing her, and then do it. And we were like, I'm 12.
Honestly, it was so weird.
Amber, you hadn't figured out that you were, a little bit of the gay at that point, so that must have been like I just think she's pretty moment.
No, I don't, to be fair, I'm not being funny, Ellie, you were a fucking supermodel, but we were so
No.
like
you want us to put your Instagram, you're going to get some traffic because you were
I
stunning.
mean, do you know what makes me laugh about my Instagram is that this is kind of just a side note, but I was doing well. My posts were doing well, and then I stopped posting photos with my body in it, and I started posting, you know, just me without makeup and me in my Crocs on the thing. And within a day, my followers dropped, and I just thought, you know what? Be gone with the negativity. Be gone, because I'm happy in my Crocs and my green jumper and my frizzy hair. So, do you know what? Be gone.
That's so shitty. And you're stunning constantly. As someone who's seen you face to face a lot, you are literally stunning. So
dance routines, we'd all be dying in a corner, and Ellie would just be there looking flawless and smashing it, and we'd all be like in the corner.
literally.
Fuck.
No,
I mean, I learned to keep up, but I didn't look as stunning as you while doing it. it was rough.
You need to stop putting yourself down. You guys are amazing. You're so beautiful, and I am constantly thinking, guys, I feel like this has already turned emotional. I don't know what's happened.
It's us. It's been a while since we've seen each other, so we're all just like, ah. I understand. Except for Dan, who's never met Ellie.
Oh yeah,
Hello.
Ellie Dan.
Yeah, hi Dan.
Dan's like, I plugged my books. That's all I needed.
He's just there to plug his books every couple of minutes. And then
Literally was the first episode though, which is out at the time we were filming this. The first episode came out today.
Wow.
Woo!
Woo.
But yeah, so I mean, we all do creative things. I am attempting at being a singer, actor, scriptwriter, book writer,
Fuck off attempting.
all that.
Shush.
I mean, this podcast you've never heard.
She says as if she doesn't have books with her name on. I don't know if you can read that, but it says
Already
it
have
says
to
Aliyah and
there
Amber.
were the books again.
That's all this literally all it's going to be. Danny, obviously, writer, an author,
Yeah.
and killing it.
Don't mind him.
Fun fact.
You're
actually,
an actor. You're gonna be in one of my series whenever that gets filmed. Who knows with COVID and like budgets and whatever. But whenever that happens,
I'm just kind of vibing. I don't have one thing. I'm just like, yeah.
neither.
you can play 12 chords on the
Writing's my
guitar.
main
That's
thing.
great.
Oh, I mean, bit iffy on that. I haven't touched it.
And then Ellie does everything: fashionable, singer, artist. Danny's left and come back. She does it all. Queen.
Can I just ask quickly, when I press my mute button, can you hear the dilling?
No.
Okay, good. I was just,
don't worry.
because I was muting myself to avoid like extra sound, but then I thought if you can hear that, that's kind of pointless. I was just so confused. But,
Oh, the amount of overlap we have.
so I guess I'm quite confused. I do. Right, so I started off as a young child, and I was just weird, and then I started growing up, and then I went to stagecoach, and then I did acting, dancing, singing. Then I was predominantly a singer, and then I was predominantly acting, and then it kind of changed, and then in the last few years I got really into my fashion, and then straight after that I became immediately very, very interested in art. And do you know what the funny thing is that when I was taking art GCSE, I really wasn't that good, but I knew I loved it. And then my teacher was like, Ellie, like, you know, do you really need to take art? And then I took it, and bruv, do you know what? This is just one of those things. When you have a passion, you need to work on it, because things change, guys, and you will improve at things if you have a passion for it. But and then
Your art's brilliant, so
thank you very
it
much.
paid off.
I saw one of your paintings and thought it was photography. I thought you'd done photography and not painting, because you did for one of our friends, like her face, and I was like, oh, that's a picture.
And if you do want to see that, guys, then I am gonna plug my IG.
It's fine. We've got
We plug everything on here.
It's I don't really know. It's Honskipae. So, but to spell it, it's HONSKIPAE.
I will also put it in the description for the YouTube video.
Thank you very much. But yeah.
You're welcome. But yeah, so getting a bit more into like the industry as such. Oh, I'm also at musical theatre college to add. Because it gives you a bit more of a different perspective, because a lot of my teachers are actually people who are in the industry and will someday probably be my competitors, which is interesting. But yeah, so it gives you a bit of a different perspective compared to when I was doing Stagecoach, and I was like, this is fun, I love doing it, you know, I think I'm good. And then I got to college, and it was like, oh, it takes so much more than being kind of good at it.
Scary. Terrifying.
Absolutely scary. But I think the biggest thing I wanted to get into today with this episode, and we discussed this, us three, when we were planning, is kind of how being creative and being a quote-unquote public figure definitely changes the way you see yourself.
And the world.
And the world, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I already have a warped view on the world. With my aura compass and ADHD, I do not see things.
No, but do you know what? Sometimes I feel like creative people have to have something a little bit wrong with them. I do not know one creative person in my whole life that doesn't have something off, or like something odd, or something weird.
Yeah. We're all traumatized.
No, but I think it's the most beautiful thing, because I think that's one thing that, like, I really find important, is that as a creative person, people who don't find creativity very important, my view is always that in my expression, in everything that I do, my one purpose is to put forward the way that I see the world, and hopefully that might help someone, it might do something nice for someone. That's why I got so into art, because it was like me being able to picture, like visualize my thoughts, which I can't do when I'm talking. I don't know, but I feel like that's the beauty of like the creative industry. It's your chance to, you know, put out what you see. I can just see Amber going like pulling faces at me. It's so cute.
Putting his books on. He started being like, oh, that's so cute, Ellie, you're so pure, I love you, and then down.
I know.
Come on.
I think that's the most intellectual thing that's ever been said on this podcast.
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah, but you wait until I get a little bit into it, and it won't be intellectual anymore, I'm telling you.
100%. But yeah, I mean, we spoke about this a little bit in the social media episode, which comes up before this one, and with what you were saying, Amber, with when you saw yourself in pictures and stuff, it just changed the way you saw yourself.
Like like Ellie, I went to Stagecoach, but I went. Was I supposed to say the name? We can blur it out. It's fine.
We can say Stagecoach. It's a big company in the UK, I think.
Okay, that's fine. I was there.
It's also a bus company.
It's also a bus company.
Guys, we're so creative. We worked for a bus company.
Yeah, we're bus drivers.
Are we gonna get sued by a bus company?
That would be the funniest thing, though, would it not?
It's such an iconic statement. Like, what's the most exciting thing that happened to you this year? I got sued by a bus company.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny. But yeah.
Literally can't remember. Oh yeah, shit. So I went for 9 years. I started when I was 8. And I was quite, like, young kids are very impressionable, but especially when you are, like, a lot of it was on stage and stuff, so you were very conscious of how you looked, and there was a lot of pictures and all of that. And don't get me wrong, it can be a very beautiful thing, and when you're, like, you have to be quite aware of your self-image, but it kind of freaked me out a little bit as a kid, because, you know, when you're, like, 13 and self-conscious of breathing, yeah.
13's a bad time.
And of course, like the Stagecoach itself and everything to do with it, I have so many good memories and I absolutely adore it, and it was the best thing. My mum put me in there because I was really shy, and now I just don't shut the fuck up. But I loved it, and I loved everybody there, and everything was brilliant. But when you're young and like kind of trying to figure yourself out at the same time, it's a bit like a whoa, pump the brakes, friend. What? Didn't sign up for that.
It's a weird thing. Like I agree with you, because honestly, genuinely, this can sound so cringe, but if I hadn't have gone to Stagecoach, I would not be the person I was today. My confidence through performing, through meeting all these people, through being friends, has just grown an insane amount, and I really wouldn't be the person I am today without you guys.
100%.
Cringe.
Aww. No, it's sweet. I have to say,
it is one of those things, like, you are growing up as you're learning, and when everything's documented, like, obviously this can sound like such a stupid thing, but when everything's documented and then you go back and you see a video of you when you were 14 singing, and you just think, oh my god, this is not okay, and it's like, if anyone finds this in future, like, it's a daunting thing, like, and you don't realise when you're on the stage, I don't care what I look like when I'm performing, but afterwards I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. right, and then you see photos and you're like, oh no. Like, imagine you're
Oh,
like Jonathan Ross in 20 years, and they pull out this video of you singing.
That's my worst nightmare. That is my worst nightmare.
Oh god, I've imagined it. Thing is, I remember when we did our thing at the Adelphi, the Girl Power set, which was my favourite thing that we ever did. When we did that, we got the pictures back, and I was like, ooh, I mean, to be honest, that roughly that weight was actually where I was at my most confident, because it was nothing to do with how I looked. Because since then I've dropped like a dress size maybe, just through the sheer amount of exercise we do at college. But I remember the first time I saw those pictures, I was like, oh my god, my legs. I was like, that's what I look like. And like there was
those demon shorts were hell.
Oh yeah, we had to wear these glittery shorts. They cut you. They literally cut you like a cat.
And
for me, it's not even the photos, it's the fact that there's a video of my vocals at the start, and I swear to God, in real life,
No, your vocals were so good.
in real life, but then when, like, I thought they were alright in real life, but then when you watch the video, I'm like, oh my.
No, don't even. Guys, listeners, you know that trend. What? Sorry.
Everything sounds dodgy on recording. Like, it
That's
sounds so
true.
much better in your head, and then
True.
you record it, and it's like,
But you know that, like Aliyah was saying, there's that TikTok trend that was like the rhythm burlesque. Ellie did that, and Ellie killed that on stage live.
Before it was a trend.
I love that riff.
Yeah, guys, I did something before it was a trend. How cool am I? Seriously, it's like, you know, when Ed Sheeran pulled out those videos of his singing, and it's terrific, and I just think that's going to happen to me, and I'm just.
Oh no, honestly, a mood. I remember I did an interview for a documentary that was being made through Macca. Nothing to do with performing, but it was being played at an exhibition they did at Chatham Dockside, and I went to the exhibition obviously because I was invited, and that was very cool. And when I was looking around, I saw the video of the documentary being played, and I waited until my bit because selfish, and I saw my face, and I was like, oh, that's what I look like to other people. And the thing is, the documentary bit was filmed, like, I want to say maybe 4 months before the exhibition happened. And I remember looking at it, I was like, I hate my eyebrows, I hate that dress, I hate the hair. What's that sound of Nicki Minaj?
Hate your hair and makeup today. The wig and the makeup could have enhanced your face even more to match this beautiful gown that you have. One.
Oh my god.
I think it's just something you learn to adapt to, like, because obviously as a creative person in any field, you're going to be on show, and I think you have to just develop double resilience. And you know what, the thing is, I'm never ever going to think I'm the prettiest person in the world, so I've just had to come to the fact that, you know what, this is what I look like. I may sometimes wake up and look like a rat, but it's okay, because, no, seriously, because, do you know what, everyone has those days, everyone wakes up and just, it's taken me a long time to kind of realise that, do you know what, you don't need to look like Bella Hadid. You can just look like yourself and still be talented and still be valued. I don't know.
I mean, I'd rather look like you, Ellie, than Bella Hadid.
Oh my god, no way.
Yes,
I don't know if that's the most offensive thing I've ever heard, or like, no, but Bella, oh my god.
No, but I remember, I can't remember what it was.
Just like, I can't believe you just said that about Bella Hadid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember when it was, but like one of the first terms that I did at Stagecoach, so I only went for 2 years. These guys are like, I grew up there, and I was like, it was 2 years of fun. But when I went, I remember the first few weeks I felt really shy about myself. You guys were so lovely. It was nothing to do with you lot. You were the sweetest people. But I was like, everyone's so skinny and like toned, and they have stamina. Because at this point, before Stagecoach, I did not exercise regularly. I didn't really look at myself because I did not care, but not in a good way. Like, I don't care about people's opinions. I don't care about my body. So I was like, I hadn't cared, and then I joined Stagecoach, and I was like, oh, if I want to look like that, I'm gonna have to care.
Over lockdown, I've just lost every inch of muscle I ever had. I have no stamina. Walking up the stairs kills me. It's just horrifically bad. And because obviously I don't go to a performing arts school anymore, I just have had no exercise. And even walking, the thought of walking just depresses me because I just can't. I can't move my legs.
Good about myself. I walked 4 miles the other day.
Do you know what? If I walked 4 miles, it would not be on my legs, like a dog carrying me or something.
And just woo.
Yeah. Sorry, Danny, you've barely spoken this episode, which is odd for you. Writing, obviously, we do some authoring. I mean, if you want to talk about having to be vulnerable, your stuff is very deep. I mean, you wrote a piece about seizures, didn't you? The seizures you were having?
Yeah. So, like, based on what Ellie was saying earlier, like, I see creativity as kind of an escape, which is kind of why, like, people that are, like, a bit fucked, they tend to go for creative careers and stuff, because it's mostly a form of expression, but also, like, a form of escape. So I very much learned to, like, express what I was feeling through writing. So in our book, Misfortune, me and Aliyah wrote it.
And Rowan.
And Rowan. And Ella did this one
But
too.
poor Rowan gets no publicity in this podcast.
Oh my god, they're absolutely lovely. Such great writers.
I don't know them very well at all, but their writing is really good according to my mum. So we got mother approval.
All I want is your
fun fact about
approval. It's lovely. Sorry.
Everyone loves my mum.
Started writing around the same time, so we also started our spiritual journey around the same time. So it's quite great. I love Rowan. Anyway, like, there's in our collection, Misfortune, there's like multiple examples of, like, there's one called Paralysis, which was my experiences with seizures, and because I had doctor's calls and everything and went to doctor's offices, I couldn't express what I was actually feeling in, like, words. So I wrote down straight after a seizure, it was one of the first ones I ever had. I wrote down exactly what I felt, exactly what I thought into writing in order to, like, express it, and then sent it, and they were like, yeah, you need neurology scans, so that's fun. But we also have... That's not fun.
I don't think that's fun.
That sounds like the opposite of fun.
It was great, it's fine. I still haven't had my neurology scans, like, over a year later. Thank you, NHS.
Fund the NHS, please,
like,
government.
Please, I'm begging.
We got political.
I'm too poor to go private. But then, like, another example.
That should be a slogan. That is such a good slogan.
Fund the NHS, I'm too poor to go private.
But yeah, I very much use writing as a form of, like, both expression and escape, because you can kind of, like, I don't know if this is disassociation, but I can disassociate myself from my characters. So I put all of my shit on my characters just to be like, ha, you've got to deal with it now, not me. That's probably not healthy, but, you know.
I mean,
we also have, like...
you say that. I didn't notice this until recently, but almost all of my characters in both book and script form that I write don't have dads. And I never noticed that until recently, and I was like, oh my god, am I giving my characters daddy issues? I never noticed that until
That really made me laugh.
I always write, like, orphans, and I'm not an orphan, but all of my characters
maybe the
use
motion
their
feel
parents'
like an
figures.
not to get too deep.
I'm very much still trying to find, like, my way into how I express myself through different things. I don't know, I'll talk about it later. I'm going to let you carry on, because I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but you carry on.
We'll give you a few minutes to figure it out.
Just give me half an hour and then I'll come back with something useful to say.
We go on to the physical aspect of the creative industry, like producing.
Yeah.
This goes on a question Ellie had earlier, which was like, how do you design book covers and things like that?
Oh yeah,
so,
we were discussing before.
We were.
So happy.
This is my friend's book cover. This is Rowan's book cover. I very much love
Shout out to Rowan.
Shout out to
pre-production,
Rowan. I don't know
post-production
who you are,
aspect.
but you seem amazing. Rowan's cool.
So great. But if you want to see like, I don't have the other versions of it, but you can see like the actual progress from this is the third version of Descendant, and then it moved to that, which is very much better quality. And then you've got this one as well.
I love you.
That was the first version. It did have a spelling mistake on it. That was my fault. I can't spell.
Seriously, the printing company did not do you a solid there and just fix it for you. They're like, no, you want to misfortune.
They just went with it.
This whole time it's just been you plugging your books, and then the first thing you say about, oh yeah, I can't spell, but
I can't spell. I can't write properly. I need to use spell check.
So
Sentence.
I use Grammarly. I don't actually write my own stuff. I just use voice recordings into Grammarly, and then
Honestly, I need to get on that because is it Escapism that? Yeah, Escapism. Our book is where Patient 65 is, and I made a huge maths error. Like I got a 2 in maths, okay, and I have ADHD, so things in my brain did not get very organised. So what I thought I wrote is not what I wrote. And my mum read Escapism for the first time, and she was like, Aliyah, and I was like, oh, did you finish it? Like, what did you think? And we were discussing it. She went, I just want you to know you can't do maths. I was like.
It's also the fact I 1 picked up on it and 2 forgot to edit it out. So
Which is
it on me. It's the fact I can't do maths either. So the first time I read through it, I was like, you made a maths error. I got a 3 in my mock in maths, so I'm just as bad. But I can't count like 27 plus 13. Oh, that's like 40, I think. I don't know. Oh my god, maths.
My brother asked me a maths question earlier. I was like, "You're asking me?" Yeah, I was asking a 2-year-old.
My mum will randomly throw maths at me. It's because she worked in like a very maths-heavy like career, and my mum and my dad were both very logical, and they're convinced that I have a logical brain. They're like, "You're not a creative person. Logic, maths," and I'm like, "Ew." But she would randomly sometimes throw mental maths at me, and I just kind of look at her, give it a second, and then get out my calculator on my phone.
Yeah.
She'll be like, no, brain. I'll be like, what's that?
I still force my mum to do the Scrabble scores for me because I just can't.
I do that. No. We play this game in my house called Boy Girl, and we always do that. I always go, Mummy, did I add it right?
I feel like sometimes, especially, I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like I could have been good at maths, but I think creative people are so stubborn in the sense that I don't like maths, so I don't want to be good at it, so therefore I'm not going to be good at it. Do you get
I
what I
argued with my maths teacher. That I was like, I can't remember what the question was, but let's just say it was 2 plus 2 equals 4. And I'm like, but why? Why does it equal 4? Does it have to equal 4? I was arguing with it.
What if it was? Do you know what? I've always thought about this. When you do like 49 plus 49, 49 what? Like, I get it when you apply it to real life situations, but it's not real. You've just put some lines on the page. They're not real.
Is that 98?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's like,
49 plus 49.
God, see, Amber, you are smart.
I'm not smart. I'm just a stubborn bitch.
No, your mother's stubborn. Your mum's like, you're gonna be good at mental maths, bitch.
Oh. My mum was teaching me
I worked out in my head.
all of them up to 12 when I was like 4. We'd do potty training, and she'd make me sit and do my times tables while I was having a piss.
That's how you got into the school you got into.
The only reason I'm good at it is because I have a god complex, so I need to be better than everyone else and get a high score. That's the only reason.
I was so like that in school. The thing is, I was really creative, and a lot of people recognised me for that. But then I also, in primary school, prided myself on being like really smart. So I was like, I know the answer.
Gifted.
I didn't care to know the answer.
Yeah, you kind of stole my job in primary school. Did you know that?
Did I? How?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this beat? You were meant to be a librarian.
Me and Rowan were meant to be librarians, and you stole our job.
Me and my